Is this China's version of Switzerland? Today, we're exploring one of the most spectacular mountain valleys in Sichuan Province. A place that's more than 3,840 meters above sea level, surrounded by snow-capped peaks, vast green meadows, and views that look almost unreal. But before we got here, we had to survive a 3-hour mountain journey, freezing temperatures we didn't expect, and roads that tested our courage. Hi everyone, I'm Doc Jun, and welcome to another episode of my travel diaries, where every journey becomes a story worth sharing. Samahan niyo ako as we discover why Shuangqiao Valley deserves a spot on your China bucket list. Let's go! Hi guys! Welcome back to another adventure here on my travel diaries. Today is our second day here in Chengdu, China. And papunta tayo ngayon to one of the most beautiful attractions in Sichuan Province, Shuangqiao Valley. Yung mga kasama ko ngayon on this trip are my travel buddies, the two sisters, Fritzy and Doc Friday, and of course, si Macy. And we're all excited because this is actually our first time visiting Shuangqiao Valley. Sa ngayon, our tour guide is giving us a briefing about today's itinerary, the do's and don'ts, and the places we're going to visit. Sana naman mag-cooperate yung weather because we're really looking forward to seeing the famous mountain views. Every curve ng road, may panibagong breathtaking scenery na bubungad sa'yo. Pero aaminin ko, medyo challenging din ang biyahe. The road is continuously climbing higher and higher, with lots of sharp, zigzag curves. Pero despite that, hindi mo rin mapipigilang tumingin sa bintana because the views are simply incredible. It's one of those road trips where the destination is amazing, but the journey itself is already unforgettable. And after more than 4 hours of travel, finally guys, nandito na tayo sa Shuangqiao Valley. And you know what? Pagbaba pa lang namin ng bus, we were already amazed. Ang fresh ng hangin, ramdam mo agad yung lamig. And we were surrounded ng mga naglalakihang bundok. Hindi pa nga kami nakakapasok sa mismong Shuangqiao Valley, pero masasabi mo na agad na this place is really something special. Parang bawat tingin mo, mas lalo kang naa-amaze sa ganda ng paligid. Mas lalo akong na-excite kung ano pa yung naghihintay sa amin sa loob. Right now, we're walking towards the entrance para kunin muna yung tickets. Everywhere you look, puro mountains, pine trees, and fresh mountain air. Sobrang relaxing ng atmosphere. Welcome to Shuangqiao Valley. We finally made it. Pero sadly, Doc Friday won't be joining us inside. She wasn't feeling well after that long and winding drive. Yung zigzag mountain roads and yung high altitude were a bit too much for her. She decided to stay behind and rest while waiting for us at the entrance. Of course, health always comes first. Hopefully, she'll feel better later. Sa ngayon, let's continue exploring the valley together. Nandito na tayo sa loob. Mula dito sa entrance, sasakay tayo nitong scenic shuttle bus papunta sa iba't ibang tourist spots. Good thing, mabilis lang naman ang pila. One thing I really like here is that private vehicles are not allowed inside the valley. Lahat ng visitors ride these scenic shuttle buses, which is actually a good idea because it helps preserve the natural beauty of the place and keeps the environment clean. And we're now heading uphill. Ang ganda talaga ng view. Before we even arrived here, our tour guide gave each of us a can of portable oxygen. Since this place is located at an elevation of around 3,500 to 3,840 meters above sea level. Kaya mataas talaga ang altitude dito. Yung iba nakaka-experience ng shortness of breath, dizziness, or even mild altitude sickness, especially if it's your first time visiting a high-altitude destination. Another tip, if you're planning to visit this place and you're prone to motion sickness, make sure to take your medicine before leaving Chengdu. Sabi ko nga kanina that the road going here has lots of zigzag turns. So it's better to be prepared para ma-enjoy nyo talaga ang trip. Our tour guide also instructed us to start from the highest viewpoint first, then gradually make our way down to the lower scenic spots. That's actually the best way to explore, because you won't miss any of the breathtaking views along the way. And finally, guys, we've reached the last shuttle bus station, which is actually the highest point of our tour here in Shuangqiao Valley. This is where our adventure officially begins. Dito tayo magsisimulang mag-explore, then pababa tayo bawat scenic spot. Pero paglabas pa lang namin ng shuttle bus, ramdam na agad yung lamig. The air is so fresh and thin, pero mas malamig talaga siya kaysa sa ina-expect namin. We are now at an altitude of around 3,840 meters above sea level. And you know what? We learned a very important lesson today. Hindi pala namin naitanong kahapon sa tour guide kung ano yung recommended outfit today. We honestly thought na summer weather lang. So we came here wearing t-shirts, shorts. Kaya kami lang pala halos ang hindi naka-jacket. So if you're planning to visit here, especially kahit summer, don't just assume na mainit ang weather. Always ask your tour guide first about the temperature. And over here, meron ding small souvenir area where you can buy snacks, drinks, and local souvenirs before continuing your tour. So, if or gusto ninyong bumili ng remembrance, this is a good place to stop for a while. And kailangan dahan-dahan lang maglakad dito. Kasi kahit simpleng lakad lang, ang bilis mong hingalin because of the high altitude. Kaya minsan, ginagamit namin yung portable oxygen in can. It really helps you feel more comfortable while exploring. Hindi naman siya nakakatakot, pero kailangan mo lang talagang pace yourself and enjoy the surroundings. Just look at this view. Ito yung massive rock formations or towering mountains with patches of snow sa tuktok nito. Ang hirap i-describe sa camera kung gaano ito kaganda in person. Tapos yung mga ulap, parang unti-unting bumababa at yumayakap sa mga peaks. It honestly feels like we're inside a painting. One thing I also noticed is how peaceful this place is. Walang city noise, puro hangin lang, birds, and the sound of nature. It's the kind of place where you just want to stop, breathe, and appreciate how beautiful God's creation is. And this is just our first stop. If the very first stop is already this breathtaking, I can't wait to see what the rest of this valley has to offer. And now, sasakay na ulit tayo ng scenic shuttle bus as we make our way down the valley. That's actually how the tour works here. You start from the highest point first, then gradually visit the different scenic spots on the way down. Each stop has its own unique landscape. So every time you get off the bus, it's a completely different experience. Alright guys, welcome to our second stop. And honestly, this is already my favorite spot in the whole valley. Grabe, I really don't know where to start. Hindi talaga ma-justify ng camera kung gaano kaganda ang place na to. I know you're seeing it on your screen right now, but it's 100 times more beautiful in person. May mga places that look good in photos, and there are places that completely take your breath away when you finally see them with your own eyes. And this is definitely one of them. Just look at this. Imagine standing in the middle of this wide open meadow, surrounded by towering mountains on every side. Yung mga bundok sa harap natin, may snow pa rin sa mga tuktok kahit summer season na. It honestly feels like we're inside a movie or a desktop wallpaper. And look at these green meadows, covered with tiny yellow wildflowers. Sobrang relaxing nilang tingnan. Tapos over there, makikita nyo yung beautiful white stupa standing quietly in the middle of the valley. It gives the whole place such a peaceful and serene atmosphere. Everything here just blends together perfectly. The mountains, the trees, the flowers, the fresh air, and even the clouds. Look at this. I think this is a Tibetan-style prayer wheel beside this beautiful mountain stream. Ang ganda niyang tingnan, and it really adds to the peaceful vibe of this place. You can also tell that Tibetan culture has a strong influence in this part of Sichuan Province. We're now walking along this wooden boardwalk, and ang sarap lang maglakad dito. Hindi mo kailangang magmadali, just appreciate everything around you. Guys, just listen to the sound of the water. This river is absolutely beautiful. Yung water comes directly from the mountains. So it's crystal clear, cold, and continuously flowing. Ang relaxing lang pakinggan. Minsan, hindi mo na kailangan ng music because nature itself is already giving you the perfect soundtrack. Parang every few meters, may panibagong view na gusto mong picturean. Kaya don't be surprised if mapupuno agad ang phone storage mo. Hindi mo talaga mapipigilang kumuha ng pictures and videos. I think medyo nagtagal na kami dito and I wouldn't mind staying a little longer because the view is just so relaxing. Pero we still have several scenic spots to explore and I don't want to miss any of them. Yung tour guide namin kanina reminded us that we all need to be back sa aming designated meeting place by 4 p.m. So we have to manage our time well. We still have more stops to visit before heading back, so we can't stay here for too long. So it's time for us to hop back on the scenic shuttle bus and head to our next scenic spot. Welcome to our third scenic spot. Ang linis ng paligid at hindi siya masikip kahit maraming tourists. Everyone just takes their time, enjoying the scenery and appreciating the beauty of nature. Dito, iba naman yung vibe compared sa mga naunang stops. That's what I really love about this valley. Every stop has its own personality. Every time bumababa kami ng shuttle bus, it's like discovering a completely different place. Ang lawak ng meadow, may crystal clear river flowing beside it, wooden boardwalks, towering green mountains, and those beautiful Tibetan white stupas in the distance. It's like nature painted this place perfectly. And this is the fourth scenic stop here in Shuangqiao Valley. Unfortunately, we had to skip a few of the other scenic spots because medyo naghahabol na kami ng oras. So, we had to choose which stops we wanted to spend more time in. But I have no regrets because this place is absolutely beautiful. Iba na naman yung scenery dito. Every stop here really has its own unique character. And eto pa yung pinaka-surprising part, may grand piano sa gitna ng viewing deck overlooking the lake. Of course, na-curious ako. Ang una kong naisip, real piano kaya ito? O display lang? Kaya syempre, sinubukan ko talaga. And yes guys, it's a real piano. Imagine playing the piano habang nasa harap mo ang isang peaceful mountain lake, surrounded by towering forests and snow-capped mountains in the distance. Ang sarap siguro if I really knew how to play the piano. I think I'd stay here a little longer. I don't think you could ask for a more beautiful stage than this. And just look at this view, guys. It's so peaceful and almost unreal. The calm lake, those mysterious trees rising from the water, the dramatic mountains in the background, and the clouds slowly moving across the sky. Everything comes together perfectly. Ito siguro yung masasabi natin na one of those places where you don't need to say much. Sometimes, you just stop, take a deep breath, enjoy the moment, and let nature do all the talking. These are the kinds of places that remind you why traveling is so special. It's not just about seeing beautiful destinations. It's about experiencing moments you'll remember long after you've gone home. And finally, we've reached our last scenic spot here. Kahit na we had to skip a few of the other stops because of our limited time, I think we still able to see the highlights. Itong place has a different atmosphere again. Then may flowing river, surrounded by pine trees, and those towering snow-capped mountains in the distance. Everywhere you look, parang postcard. Hindi nakakasawang tingnan. I also noticed this cute panda statue wearing goggles. Of course, hindi mawawala ang picture. I also noticed that there are cafes and rest areas beside the river. Imagine sitting here with a cup of hot coffee or tea while listening to the sound of the flowing water and looking at these amazing mountain views. Kung may extra time lang talaga, I'd probably grab a coffee, sit down, and just enjoy this incredible view for a while. Then over here, you'll find this beautiful wooden bridge decorated with colorful Tibetan prayer flags. It adds so much character to the place. Every time the wind blows, the flags move gently, making the scenery even more relaxing and picturesque. It almost feels like you're walking through a scene from a movie. Sadly, this is already our last stop before heading back to the meeting point. I'm leaving this place with so many beautiful memories. Ito yung isa mga napuntahan ko na masasabi ko na one of those places that's even more breathtaking in person. And just like that, our Shuangqiao Valley adventure comes to an end. This place is proof that some destinations are even more beautiful in real life than in photos. Thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. If you enjoyed this vlog, huwag niyo kalimutan mag-like, comment, and subscribe for more travel stories and adventures around the world. Until our next adventure, this is Doc Jun once again. Let's keep exploring, keep dreaming, and remember, the best journeys are the ones that leave footprints not just on the road, but also in your heart. See you in the next vlog. Bye, everyone.